I never thought a joke could end a marriage, but I learned the hard way that words spoken lightly can land like knives. My name is Rowan Hale. I'm 43, married for 11 years, and until that afternoon, I believe my wife and I were solid. Not perfect, not fireworks every night, but steady. The kind of marriage built on routines, shared bills, Sunday groceries, and quiet trust. That illusion shattered at a neighborhood barbecue, under bright sunlight, with people laughing around us like nothing mattered. We live on a tidy street in a small coastal town. Everyone knows everyone, or at least pretends to. That day, our neighbor Callum had invited a few houses over. Folding chairs, cheap beer, music playing too loud. My wife, Eliza, was in one of her social moods. She gets animated in groups, louder than usual, performing almost. I stood beside her, drink in hand, listening more than talking, comfortable in the background. That's always been our balance. Someone joked about relationships getting boring after marriage. A harmless comment, I thought. Eliza laughed and said, maybe we should start trading husbands and wives every few years, just to keep things interesting. People chuckled. I forced a smile, though my stomach tightened. It felt disrespectful, but I told myself not to be sensitive. It was just a joke, right? Then Callum looked straight at her and said, calmly, careful what you joke about. Some trades don't come with return policies. The laughter died instantly. Eliza froze, her smile stiff, eyes blinking like she hadn't expected resistance. A strange silence hung there, thick and awkward. Someone cleared their throat. Music kept playing, but the mood shifted. I felt heat crawl up my neck, not anger yet, more like embarrassment mixed with clarity. Eliza laughed it off quickly, waving her hand. Relax, it's humor, she said, but her voice sounded thinner. I said nothing. I didn't want to make a scene. We stayed another hour. She avoided Callum after that, suddenly glued to her phone, energy gone. I watched her, noticing details I'd ignored before. How easily she joked at my expense. How little she checked if I was okay. On the drive home, the car felt small. I asked, evenly, what was that about? She sighed like I'd asked something exhausting. It was a joke, Rowan. Don't start. I kept my eyes on the road. It didn't feel like a joke to me. She rolled her eyes. You're overthinking again. I went quiet. I always do when I realize my feelings aren't welcome. That night, I lay awake, replaying the moment. Not just the joke, but the confidence behind it. The way she'd said it publicly, without hesitation. Jokes reveal comfort. They show where boundaries are already loose. Over the next weeks, I started noticing patterns I'd minimized for years. The dismissive comments. The way she corrected me in front of others. The casual flirting she brushed off as harmless. I didn't confront her immediately. I watched. I listened. I waited to see if respect would return on its own. It didn't. One evening, we attended another gathering. Different people, same dynamic. Eliza was telling a story and exaggerated my reaction for laughs, making me sound foolish. People laughed. I smiled politely, but inside, something went cold. I realized I was becoming a prop in my own marriage. Later that night, after guests left, I spoke carefully. When you joke about me like that, it hurts. She stared at me, incredulous. You're really keeping score over jokes? Her tone wasn't defensive. It was dismissive. That hurt more. I need you to respect me, I said. She shrugged. If you're this sensitive, maybe that's the real problem. The following weekend, we ran into Callum while walking the dog. He nodded, polite as ever. Eliza barely looked at him. As we passed, he said something quietly. Respect isn't optional. It's the whole contract. Eliza stopped walking. She turned pale, lips pressed tight. I felt gratitude and dread. Gratitude that someone else saw it. Dread because I knew what it meant. At home, she exploded. Accused Callum of meddling. Accused me of encouraging it. I stayed calm. He didn't say anything I haven't felt. I said. She stared at me like I'd betrayed her. So now you're siding with him? I shook my head. I'm siding with myself. That was the first time I'd said that out loud. The argument didn't escalate into shouting. It didn't need to. She said, I can't promise I'll change how I joke. That's just me. I listened carefully. Then I can't promise I'll stay, I replied. The room went quiet. She laughed once, nervously, thinking I was bluffing. I wasn't. Over the next days, I thought about what marriage meant to me. Not perfection, not constant romance, just mutual respect, a sense that we protect each other's dignity, especially in public. I realized I'd been protecting hers for years while neglecting my own. One morning, while she was out, I packed a bag. Not in anger, in resolve. I left a note. Simple. I won't compete with jokes that cost me my self-respect. I didn't block her. I didn't rage. I just left. Silence can be louder than arguments. Friends reached out, confused. Some said I overreacted. Some understood immediately. Eliza texted apologies mixed with blame. You're really ending this over a joke? I replied once. No, I'm ending it over years of being laughed at instead of valued. Weeks later, I heard she told people I was too fragile. I didn't correct the story. People believe what fits them. What I know is this. Public jokes are never just jokes. They're rehearsals. They test what someone can get away with. The day my wife joked about trading husbands, she told me exactly how replaceable she thought I was. And when the neighbor replied, she didn't freeze because he was rude. She froze because the truth had been said out loud.